down from dictation. I have reached absolute perfection. You can go on. I'm quite comfortable. Oh, but don't cough, Ernest. When one is dictating, one should speak fluently and not cough. Besides, I don't know how to spell it.
Cecily, ever since I first gazed upon your incomparable beauty, I have dared to love you wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly.
I don't think that you should tell me you love me wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly. Hopelessly doesn't seem to make much sense, does it?
Oh, Cecily.
The dog cart is still waiting, sir.
Well, tell her to come around next week at the same hour.
Miss Cardew. Yes, sir. Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed if he knew you were staying on until next week at the same hour.
Oh, I don't care about Jack. I don't care for anybody in the whole world. But you. I love you, Cecily. You will marry me, won't you?
You silly boy, of course. Why, we've been engaged for the last 3 months.
For the last 3 months?
Yes, it will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
But how did we become engaged?
Well, ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, you, of course, have formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prison. And of course, the man who's much talked about is always very attractive. One feels there must be something in him, after all. I dare say it was very foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest.
Oh, Cecily, when was our engagement actually settled?
On the 14th of February last. Worn out by your entire ignorance of my existence, I determined to end matter one way or another. And after a long struggle with myself, I accepted you under this dear old tree here. The next day I bought this little ring in your name, and this is the little bangle the true lovers knot I promised you always to wear.
Wow, did I buy you this? That's pretty, isn't it?
Yes, you've wonderfully good taste, Ernest. It's the excuse I've always given for you leading such a bad life. And this is the box in which I keep all your dear letters.
My letters? But I've never written you any letters.
You need hardly remind me of that, Ernest. I remember only too well that I was forced to write your letters for you. I wrote always 3 times a week, and sometimes often.
Well, do let me read them.
Oh no, I couldn't possibly. They would make you far too conceited. The 3 you wrote me after I had broken off the engagement were so beautiful and so badly spelled. And even now I can't read them without crying a little.
But was our engagement ever broken off?
Of course it was. On the 22nd of last March. You can see the entry if you like. Today I broke off my engagement with Ernest. I feel it is better to do so. The weather still continues charming.
But why did you break it off, Cecily? What had I done? Cecily, I've done nothing. I'm very much hurt to hear that you broke it off, particularly when the weather was so charming.
It would have hardly been a real serious engagement if it hadn't been broken off at least once. But I forgave you before the week was out.
What a perfect angel you are.
You dear romantic boy. I hope your hair feels naturally, does it?
Well, yes, with a little help from others.
Oh, I'm so glad.
And you promise you'll never break off our engagement again.
I don't think I could break it off, now that I've actually met you. Besides, of course, there is still the question of your name.
Yes, of course.
You mustn't laugh at me, darling. It has always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone whose name was Ernest. There is something in that name that seems to inspire absolute confidence. I pity any poor married woman whose husband's name is not Ernest.
Cecily, you mean to say that you could not love me if I had some other name?
But what name?
Well, any name you like. Algernon, for instance.
But I don't like the name of Algernon.
Well, my own sweet, adorable, loving little Cecily, I don't see why you should object to the name of Algernon. It's not at all a bad name. In fact, it is a rather aristocratic name. Half the chaps who get into bankruptcy called Algernon. But seriously, Cecily, if my name was Algie, wouldn't you love me?
I might respect you, Ernest. I might admire your character. But I fear I should not be able to give you my undivided attention.
Cecily, your rector here is, I suppose, thoroughly experienced in the practice of all rites and ceremonials of the church.
Oh, yes. Dr. Hazlitt is a most learned man. He has never written a single book, so you can imagine how much he knows.
I must see him at once on an important christening. I mean, on important business.
Oh.
So I shan't be back in more than half an hour.
Considering that we've been engaged since February the 14th, and that I met you today for the first time, I think it is rather hard for you to leave me for so long a period as just half an hour. Couldn't you make it 20 minutes?
I'll be back in a